Well, we could talk about fast cars, but let's talk song. Today we are going to look at Billy Joel's new single, Turn the Lights Back On. I made a reaction video to it that you all seem to like very much, and today we are going to get a bit more in depth. Billy Joel is very important for me personally. When I was 12 or 13 years old, my piano teacher, Luggy, introduced me to Billy Joel, and he's been around ever since. He was at my wedding, not as a person, but as a song. My wife, who I love very much and who is switching this thing here right now, and I danced our first wedding dance to Billy Joel, She's Always a Woman. And in the last 10, 15, 17, I don't really know years, nothing has been published by Mr. Joel. He turned the internet upside down by releasing Turn the Lights Back On. And today we are going to look at chords, melody, and lyrics and try and find important learnings for songwriting. So let's get started. Please open the door. Nothing is different, we've been here before. Pacing these halls, trying to talk over the silence. And pride sticks out its tongue, laughs at the portrait that we've become. Stuck in a frame, unable to change, I was wrong. I'm late, but I'm here right now. Though I used to be romantic, I forgot somehow. Maybe I was blind, but I see you now. As we lay here in the darkness, did I wait too long to turn the lights back on? Here, stuck on a hill, outsiders inside the homes that we build. The cold settles in, it's been a long winter, often different. Maybe you love me, and maybe you don't. Maybe you learn to, and maybe you won't. You've had enough, but I won't give up on you. I'm late, but I'm here right now, and I'm trying to find the magic that we lost somehow. Maybe I was blind, but I see you now. As we lay here in the darkness, did I wait too long to turn the lights back on? I'm late, but I'm here right now. Is there still time for forgiveness? Won't you tell me how I can read your mind? But I see you now. As we lay here in the darkness, did I wait too long to turn the lights back on? I'm here right now. Yes, I'm here right now. Looking for forgiveness. I can see as we lay here in the darkness, as we lay here in the darkness, did I wait let's look at the two harmonic progressions that we actually have. One is a progression that we find in the verse and with slight variations also in the chorus, and the other one is the progression that Billy uses for the solo. So let's look at the verse progression first. Two important things before we go. First, the song is in 6/8. This is very typically Billy Joel and also something that features And She's Always a Woman. Secondly, the song is in the key of C major, something that a lot of piano composers like to do, and Billy Joel as well. Let's look at the chord progression for the verse now. C, F, G, with G sharp and bass, A minor, D with F sharp and bass, G sus, G, F, E minor. This is the progression from the verse. If we look at chord functions, we see that we have got a 1-4-5 beginning, and then we introduce a secondary dominant, which is this 3 major chord that dominates towards the 6 minor chord. Something very Cat Stevens, Morning Has Broken, and there has been a lot of comparisons on the internet about that, of course. After that, we introduce a second secondary dominant chord, this time the D major chord with F sharp and bass, and this is the secondary dominant for the actual dominant, for the G chord. What's rather interesting and unusual is the way that chord progression ends, which is with an F and an E minor. Kind of curious, and this changes slightly in the chorus because in the chorus we end the progression with F and G. The solo progression is a bit different. Let's look at the solo progression now. A minor, D, G, C, F, G, and repeat that, F, G. So what we see here is that we start the progression with the 6 minor chord. Then we go down a fifth from A to D, playing the D secondary dominant, D major chord there, followed by, down another fifth, the G major chord, down another fifth to the C major chord, down another fifth to the F chord, and then we break the pattern and we do F, G, F, G. When we look at chord stage degrees, we see that we play the 6 minor, then the 2 major, 5, 1, 4, 5, 4, 5. What are the harmonic learnings we can take away from that song? Number one, if you have got an 8-bar verse where there is a new chord in every bar, it's a good idea to introduce some secondary dominants to keep things interesting. Number two, something that I haven't seen quite often is combining elements from the drop of fifth sequence with secondary dominants in both progressions. So in the verse, chorus, and also in the solo. Also a very good idea. And the third learning, if you use the same progression for different sections, in that case verse and chorus, it's a very good idea to introduce slight harmonic variations, like this 4-5 tail at the end, that was a 4-3 minor tail in the verse, in order to create a bit of contrast there. If we look at the melodies of Turn the Lights Back On, it's important to look, of course, at the vocal melodies, but in that case also at the solo melody from the piano. Both things are quite remarkable. Learning number one is about a Billy Joel signature move. Apparently, that guy just loves starting very, very memorable melodies on the downbeat, on the one, which is probably why the song also starts very abruptly with that "Please open the door." He does that in a lot of songs. Piano Man, right? Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Oh, she takes care of herself. Also, starting on the downbeat. Uptown Girl, dip, also on the downbeat. Anthony works in a grocery store. That seems to be a thing in the discography of Billy Joel, that very, very remarkable and hooky lines have to start on the downbeat, on the one here. So maybe you try that for your own songs. 2. And I have to give credit to great Justin Harkins for that perfect observation that slipped my ear in the reaction video. Stealing hook lines from other genres is perfectly okay if you introduce them into your own style and make them your own. I don't know if you have realized that the chorus is actually You Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC. I'm late, but I'm here right now. Once you hear it, you can't unhear it. It's You Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC. Of course, just that tiny bit, but it's the most memorable hook of the song. It's also the most memorable hook of the AC/DC song. So apparently it's totally okay to steal the hook lines in order to make them your own. Very, very shortly, we are now going to look at the piano solo. I'm not a great pianist. I will show you the rudiments of the solo because I like the way Billy picks notes. So what I like about the solo is the use of pentatonic scales, and not just of the pentatonic scale that we are actually in, but actually he uses a pentatonic scale for every new chord that he plays. So when we have the A minor scale, we do this here. Something like this. Then we go to the D minor chord, and suddenly we play new melody notes. We do the same thing on the G. So we have a very, very similar line, a very similar pattern, just in another pentatonic scale. From the G, we go to the D thingy. Always with a very high prominence of this ninth chord. And then we do of course, yes, in that case we play some other notes that are not on the pentatonic scale, but it was quite remarkable when I listened to it and also tried to play it along a little bit that he actually considers different scales for different chords, something that gets lost in rock and pop music quite a bit, because most of the time pop and rock music is about simplicity and not caring too much about scales. Billy Joel shows here that it's also a very good idea to know your scales every once in a while. We are now going to go to the lyrics, and the first learning of the lyrics is establish a certain rhyming pattern, even if it's a very unusual one, and stick to it. Let's look at this very unconventional rhyming pattern in verse number 1. Please open the door. Nothing is different. We've been here before. X, A, X, A. Pacing these halls, trying to talk over the silence. B, B, X. X, A, X, A, B, B, X is a pattern that gets followed through completely in all the other verses. And pride sticks out its tongue, laughs at the portrait that we've become, stuck in a frame, unable to change, I was wrong. The same happens with verse number 2. Check it out if you want to. Learning number 2. It's okay to introduce sections that don't rhyme at all as long as there are other memorable parts, like for example a hooky melody line that carry that part and that actually make it memorable without lines having to rhyme. Because if we look at the chorus, we see I'm late, but I'm here right now, and then it varies from chorus to chorus. But in the first chorus it's, though I used to be romantic, I forgot somehow, maybe I was blind, but I see you now as we're laying in the darkness. Did I wait too long to turn the lights back on? It's, again, things that have a little bit to do with each other, but we can't really spot a specific rhyming pattern that then gets any type of interest. So it's okay to have sections that don't rhyme at all. 3. Talking about booster lines in second verses. Sometimes it's a good idea to cut words in a very unconventional manner to create interesting rhymes. If we look at verse number 2, we find something really, really professional and well written. It's that thing that says, here, stuck on a hill, outside is inside, the home that we built, the cold settles in, it's been a long winter of indifference. And also the way he sings it. It rhymes, but he also continues the word. So it's really, really cool. Something that you should consider when writing. It's a little bit like the opposite of a mosaic rhyme, where you take two words and rhyme it with one other word. So here you take one word, split it into two syllables, and make the first syllable rhyme with the line before. I have never seen this before, and it's quite cool. And fourth learning from the lyrics, be very careful with unintended prosodic misunderstandings. The chorus starts with the line, I'm late. But if we listen to the original recording by Billy Joel, he isn't late. He is always on the downbeat with that thing. He always sings, I'm late. Something that is not what he's singing. Which is why I can't make it work. If you listen to my cover, you will find that I always lag behind with that late thing because it needs to be late, otherwise it doesn't make a lot of sense. So sometimes specific words call for certain prosody that in that case was forgotten somehow. I don't really know what happened, but I think it should be I'm late and not I'm late. See what I mean? All in all, of course, it is a very, very fantastic song. I'm so glad that it was published. I don't want to participate in that stupid AI voice enhancing discussion that is online. It is a great song. I'm here to look at chords, melody, and lyrics, and we can see that it is a very, very typical Billy Joel song. Maybe not the strongest one, might be, but still a gift for the world, and this in 2024. So not bad at all, Mr. Joel. Thank you very much for releasing that song. I believe we have analyzed quite a bit. As always, if you like this, make sure to like the video, to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for 1,000 subscribers and rising. To comment below to tell me what other songs you would like me to analyze or also to make reaction videos to. I guess we've talked song, you can talk about fast cars now.